Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Rampage and welcome to my Sniper Elite 3 benchmark video. Now, as you can see up the top left corner, I've got my GPU, CPU and RAM usage going on up here. So you can see the GPU temperature currently is 55 degrees at 77% usage for some reason. Memory clock 3506 or effectively 8000 megahertz, 9.57 megabytes. At 60 frames per second. I think I do have Vsync on. Give me a second. Vsync, yes, there we go. Just quickly turn that off. Alright, so CPU temp right here on the first core, and then the usage on the rest and the RAM. So the resolution that I'll be playing with is 1080p, and visuals, advanced options, texture detail, shadow detail, both on ultra, anti-aliasing, I'll just quickly set that to high for this benchmark. Draw distance ultra, anisotropic filtering 16 times, and I'll set super sampling on afterwards. You'll see what happens when you turn that on. I'll just quickly turn this stuff on. Oh, no, that's Vsync. And motion blur, ambient occlusion, reduce lag, mouse lag on, and use tessellation and use obscurance fields. I don't know what that is, but okay. Whatever you say. Anyway, game. I don't know if there's any other. No. Okay. Let's just start the little campaign then section. New game. Custom. Ain't got time for that. Go. Alright, I'm not going to show you any of the story bits, so that's fine. I'm just starting the first mission, and as you can see, my GPU usage has gone up to about 95%. 98 currently, which that's what it's supposed to be. Now, you can see that the graphics memory, with a game that looks like this, now surprisingly it does look pretty good. It slightly looks better than Sniper Elite V2. And surprisingly, it only uses 1.2 gigabytes of VRAM, which is quite surprising to me, anyway. But it does stutter from about 91 to about 71. Oh, yep, there you go. There you go. It started to drop down to about 45 frames per second. Now, I don't know. I've tried benchmarking this game before. And I noticed that it's got really weird drops when you turn anti-aliasing and DirectX 11 on for some reason, which is really quite strange. And I've seen a few people on the forums saying that they're, getting over, 70 to 80 FPS, but this is the first level. Remember that, right? If it keeps dropping down to 50 frames per second, I hope that the rest of the game doesn't keep dropping like this, because this is ridiculous. 38 frames per second. Right? Now let's see what happens when I turn some settings off. Display. Oh, no, go away. Go away, console. Advanced options. Now if we turn anti-aliasing off. Oh, hold on. I'll show you what happens when I turn on super sampling. Super sampling 2.25 times. Let's try that. Resume. So FPS drops to about 36%. And I've noticed when you turn super sampling on in this game that you can actually see further in the further in the distance, like detail, which is really quite strange because it's like it turns off depth of field, but then doubles the resolution of the in-game textures, which is really quite strange. I don't know how else to put that, but that's just freaking weird. But then I'd like to point out that when you turned super sampling on in Sniper Elite V2, it didn't lag this much. I can tell you that much. It didn't lag this much. On release, it did, but currently it doesn't lag this much. Let's turn super sampling on to 4 times, shall we? And you can see what happens to the actual image. As you can see there, it sort of gets rid of the blur. But then when I turn super sampling off, there's a bit of a blur. Now granted I am in the menu, but that just shows how much it's actually doing to the game. Now, the distance is a lot smoother, and for some reason when I'm aiming now, it's not actually aiming down sight. I just noticed that. That's kind of weird. There we go. But yeah, 30 frames, 28 frames, 25, 24 frames per second at not even 2 gigs of VRAM. I don't know how people are getting really good performance with this game, because currently I'm not. Now, I'll show you the settings that I have to play with in order to actually get the game to work correctly at over 60 frames per second, which is quite ridiculous. Now, if I turn super sampling off completely, motion blur off, ambient occlusion off, and tessellation, and use obscure fields, whatever the fuck that is, I don't even know what that setting does. But as you can see, it's above 60 frames per second, which is the ideal frame rate for me, right? Now, I've turned anti-aliasing off, but then when I turn anti-aliasing back on, look what happens. Oh no, I've got it on, sorry, my bad. Turn it off. Now let's see what happens. What's the frame rate now? 63. But yet it was over 80 FPS when I had anti-aliasing on. So that doesn't really make any sense. But then when I look this way, I get like double the FPS. But then when I turn around, it's like, nope, we're just going to stick to around 67 FPS because we're retarded, apparently. We don't know how to code a game correctly. That makes no fucking sense. So look, let's see what happens now. 65 frames. There we go, 65 frames. So if I turn anti-aliasing off, I gain 3 FPS when looking this way, and an average of about 5 FPS when looking this way. What? What? That doesn't even make any sense. And for some reason, run doesn't work on this level. Unless this is run, which doesn't actually look like run, but yeah, I don't know. I hope that this performance is only the first level, because if it's like this the entire game, like, I want to enable DirectX 11, guys. I don't want to have to disable it just because you guys couldn't code DirectX 11 correctly. Now, I'm being a complete dickhead about this because Rebellion have done some really retarded things with this game, and I'm not happy with them at the moment, if you could not tell already. So, yeah. They deserve everything they get, but performance like this, fucking appalling. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's dropping to 57 frames per second from about 80 frames per second. Right? With it, with an average of about 71 frames per second. Dropping down to 57 or 58 or something. Sorry, but that is pretty shitty fucking drops. I don't know about you, but that's not really acceptable in my books. So hopefully they can actually fix this within the next couple of days, because I do want to finish this game, I do want to get it done, but I don't want to have shitty fucking performance while I'm doing it. Now let's just quickly test Vsync to see what the actual game will be like with Vsync on. So Vsync is turned on, yep, here we go, and yeah. It's actually, like, it's nice. It's constantly at 60, no tearing. So Vsync actually works in this game for some reason, because fortunately in the last couple of games Vsync hasn't actually worked very well. So that's a good thing. I can give them a plus for that, but I can't give them anything for about 20 to 40 frame drops. That's embarrassing. I hope they do fix it, and let me know what you guys get for your rigs, like what performance you get, and what average frame rate you get, and what max frame rate you get. But yeah, this has been my benchmark for Sniper Elite 3. Let me know what you guys get in the comment section below. And I just noticed that this game is only using or utilizing one fucking CPU core. Why? Oh my god, I can't believe I missed that. Let's see this shit. 53% of my CPU on one core. then about 45 on another, and then switches to another core to go to 40%. Oh, 3 cores are at 40! Yes! This is unoptimized as shit. Sorry to say, but I would like to use more of my CPU, and if my CPU is doing absolutely nothing, at least give me performance that will actually allow for better FPS. You know? Like, if my CPU isn't doing anything, why is performance like garbage? Right? Like 59% on one core, 71%. See? This is optimized for about 1 to 2 core usage, with barely using 50% on one core. That is poor. That is fucking ridiculous, and I couldn't believe that I actually missed that. So that was a overlooked thing for me. And you can see that the GPU is maxing out at 98%, yet it's not even using 2 gigs of VRAM. Like, I don't care about the VRAM usage. I care about the CPU usage, man. That's ridiculous. Like, what? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna finally leave. Anyway, this has been my benchmark for Sniper Elite 3. Let me know what you get in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.